this is Beatrice, and in this video we're going to look at an example of the task 4 of the reading and writing exam ISE III. We're going to look at a real example of the exam, and we're going to make the planning notes. This is a real example of an exam, and as you see, we've got a question and we've got a space for doing our planning notes. The question gives you the kind of text. It gives you also what you have to write in the text. Before you start writing your essay, it's really important to plan what you're going to write. And to plan what you're going to write, underline the important points of the question in the question itself. Okay, so thinking of the main points the question asks, we've got several points. First, what kind of text is it? What text are they asking you to write? Are they asking you to write an article, a review, a report, an email? In this case, they're asking you to write an essay. And it's an opinion essay because they're asking for your opinion. So it's very important that you give your opinion in this essay. When you write an essay, do you have to use formal or informal language? You have to use formal language because it's an academic text meant for your teacher or professor. And the next thing we see is you have to write your opinion, and you have to say if you agree or you disagree with the next statement. So the statement is the next, let's see. When ambition ends, happiness begins. So you have to talk about ambition. Do you agree that when people are not ambitious, or when there isn't ambition, happiness starts? And then another point is to give examples to justify your position. So you have to give your opinion, and you have to justify why this is your opinion. So giving some examples. So let's see what the planning notes would look like. So here we get an idea of what you have to write to start planning your notes. And planning your notes is crucial because then you've come up with examples, with arguments, and you make sure you're answering all the parts of the question. So we know it's an essay. We know you have to talk about ambitions. We know you have to give your opinion, and we know you have to give examples. So in this case, your opinion is important, but it's especially important that you can talk about arguments for and arguments against. So if you're talking about ambition, even if you're against ambition, if you believe ambition stops people from being happy, you should also talk about some advantages of ambition, of having ambition. Okay, and the same goes if you believe ambition is really important to achieve happiness, you should also mention some of the downsides of being too ambitious. And this is something that happens a lot with exams, Trinity exams, that you have to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of something to make your point, because you're trying to sound like you're taking into account both sides of the argument. Okay, so let's see some examples of ideas you can think of for this kind of essay. So we've got arguments for. In this case, I have only been able to come up with ambition helps you to be successful. And an example of this is, for example, people who are ambitious try harder and achieve their goals, okay, or are more likely to achieve their goals. So this would make you happier if you're successful in life, if you're able to end up doing something that satisfies you, that you're interested in. Okay, so that's an argument for, and it's an example. And arguments against could be that it's stressful. I didn't have an example for that, but you can think of an example. And it's also important to have time for yourself, for hobbies and your own interests. And you could say that, as an example, working long hours, or it's proven that working long hours can lead to burnout. Okay, so it can make you be more stressed out. So that's just an idea, but what I want you to get from this video is that it's very important to prepare your essay carefully, or your text carefully, and know what they're asking you to write, and write ideas before you start writing your text. They're not going to mark this part of the exam, but it's going to help you have a more structured and more understandable and more interesting. Okay, so what I want you to get from here is to understand the importance of planning your essay. If you don't plan your essay, all the ideas are going to be mixed up. You probably won't include all of the points that they're asking you in your question, because you're going to forget about them. But if you plan your essay, you're making sure you're giving arguments for, you're giving arguments against, you're giving your opinion, so using words like I believe, and you're giving examples to justify your argument. So it's something that as you practice, you're going to get the hang of it more and more. So don't worry, and remember that preparation is crucial. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, and that you're able to understand a little bit better the extended writing task. And I'll see you in the next videos.